Good afternoon, good morning. This is Warren Rutherford, owner of the Executive Suite, and I welcome you to our seminar on regaining certainty with COVID-19. And today's session out of 6 will be identifying your strengths. So I've done a shared screen, and I'm going to work with you this afternoon to go through some of the particulars of how you can identify your strengths. If you have questions, please let me know by just indicating what your questions are. I'm not holding anybody back on this. So let's commence with the webinar, and here we go. So COVID-19 has given us a good amount of uncertainty. And as an executive and management coach, I work with clients to help them alleviate that uncertainty by replacing it with certainty. So I'm offering to any of the participants in these series of webinars the ability to take a complimentary assessment to understand your current levels of self-awareness. And by self-awareness, I'm looking at your self-direction, your role awareness, and your self-esteem and self-belief. The link is here, and I will also put it up on the notes to this webinar and also on YouTube when I post that later. Moving right along, our agenda for this afternoon is going to be quite simple. How you can live a life of certainty. I want you to look at your house, and I want you to learn to manage your uncertainty through a series of exercises. So first off, let's look at those impacts of COVID-19 on your certainty. So do any of these sound familiar? Does the pandemic interrupt the flow of your daily habits? Could it remove your ability for safe human-to-human contact, particularly now that we are at a stay-at-home environment for the most part? Does it take away your ability to work safely at your place of work? Perhaps it's taking away your income from which you can enjoy a life. Many of the businesses I work with have been shut down, restaurants and retail organizations in particular, because of the human-to-human contact that is a mainstay of their business. And you should know that your uncertainty, feelings of insignificance, or lack of connection can lead to low self-direction, low role awareness, and low self-esteem. So when you're living a life of certainty, you want to make sure it provides a foundation from which you can feel better about your various roles and allow it to help solidify your view of yourself, your connection with who you are. And normally, we like to have certainty, significance, and be connected to ourselves. And when we're used to having those regular routines, these are quite easy for us. So think for a moment and jot down, what are some of your regular routines without the pandemic in place? What I'd like to do for the moment here is look at the major elements to your house. And as a coach, I often refer to the foundation as that level of certainty and self-direction that you have as an individual. So what's the foundation in your house look like? How certain are you now, and what's your level of self-direction? And as we move up from the foundation, we often put walls on the house, and we have that feeling and thought of significance, our role awareness. We have multiple roles that we're concerned with. It could be a parent, it could be a child, it could be a brother, a sister, or it could be a work profession. And on top of the walls, we always have a roof. That is our connection to who we are, our levels of self-esteem and self-belief. It's my simple way of trying to identify how you can, on levels of self-awareness, build your home. So self-awareness, ask yourself, how well is your house built right now? When your foundation is shaky and uncertain, your level of self-direction, your certainty, your foundation is less than normal. So what are several of the things that have occurred in the past 2 months that have contributed to a shaky foundation for you? Certainly one is that we have stay-at-home orders. In certain instances, we're prevented from operating our businesses. In different states, we have determined essential and non-essential services, and essential services are allowed to stay open for business as usual, with the understanding, however, that many of the people that frequent their business are under stay-at-home orders, so that essential service and business as usual is even interrupted. So how well is your house built? So what are your various roles, and which one's the most important to you? Your role awareness, your significance. Who are you? What has occurred to several of your roles in the past 2 months? In my instance, I'm staying at home. I'm still working as a coach and a consultant, but I'm working out of the home, and that's interrupted my family's flow around me, most insignificantly. What about your self-esteem, your connection, your belief in yourself? How has your belief in yourself been altered, if at all, over the past several months? So your self-awareness, who you are, is determined by your certainty, your foundation, your significance, your walls, and your role awareness, and your connection to you. So what I want you to do is to identify your strengths. And in this exercise, we'll begin to constructively think about you and how you fit in your organization. I want you to realize that you have a unique set of skills that you contribute to the workplace. I'm going to ask you to make a list of what you see as your primary strengths. For example, I get along with other people, or people say I'm organized. It may be that you're going to say, I am comfortable talking in front of groups, or I'm a good accountant, advisor, consultant, coach. Name your profession. Does that make sense? So next to each of your strengths, write down at least one way you can take advantage of that skill and use it more in your daily tasks. And I want you to feel confident about the items you list, and don't be afraid to practice using your skills. So on the chart below, think about, in column to the left, I'm good at what? And then in the column to the right, how can I use that skill today? The key to working on your strengths is to move you from uncertainty to certainty. That makes sense. So write this down, I'm good at what? And then to the right of that, how can I use that skill today? Okay? Now, further sessions are going to be every Tuesday and Thursday at this time, 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The next one will come up Thursday the 16th, and then next week, the 21st and the 23rd. And then the following week, the last week of the month, the 28th and the 30th. And here's what we're going to be focusing on: predictability, building routines and patterns, positive thoughts and little triumphs. So self-confidence activities that we worked on today are identifying your strengths. And if you can, try to have those completed by Thursday. Next week, we're going to be working on your analysis of past experiences, and then tooting your own horn, giving other people credit, and self-control activities. Again, all of these are going to be looking at self-control, self-direction, and self-confidence, all of which impact your feelings of certainty and the lack of uncertainty. So I hope that by focusing on predictability, routine, patterns, positive thoughts, and little triumphs, we'll be able to help you regain your certainty in this period of uncertainty caused by the virus pandemic. So for more information, give me a holler. I'm at 778-7700, area code 508. And the email address is wjr@executivesuite.com. I'm sorry, theexecutivesuite.com. And I look forward to working with you in the following sessions. Thank you very much. And I'm Warren Rutherford, owner of the Executive Suite. Thank you.